Here inside La Jaula, ready to break down Claire Lopez's rear naked choke submission against Camila Riverola. And with me right now is undefeated fighter Jacob Diaz. We even painted on a fake black eye so that he would feel, like he just got ready for war. And that he did, with Claire Lopez and Camila really letting the haymakers fly. It wasn't until Claire Lopez lands that uppercut where she goes down, and it's in this moment where you have to capitalize on your openings, your opportunities where she has the back, but before even getting fully to the ground, she already has this hook sunk in across the neck. It's kind of like you're throwing a hook the way she aggressively went down like that. So as soon as I get down, she has one of her own hooks in and another hook in. This is stabilizing the position here. An even more dominant position would be the body triangle, which is a little bit more difficult to do against my lightweight friend here, but against a strawweight, it's much easier. All right, so now we're gonna look to sink in this submission. So I have the shoulder control here, and now to finish it, you go to the bicep, and you basically just wanna get rid of the space that their neck is in. When you're thinking about the rear naked choke, it's a rear naked choke, but it's really a strangulation because you're trying to cut off the blood from the carotid arteries. So all the blood that's going to their brain cuts off. But if you can't get under the chin, have no fear. As you just saw with Claire Lopez, she was over the chin, making it more of like a jaw lock submission. So she's here, she has the shoulder, she tightens things up and then gets ear to ear connection. Great head positioning from here. And then once you have this position, it's closing the space with your elbows in and then back. So here we're gonna go for it. And a quick tap. Camila Riverola didn't have a choice once that was sunken in, and Claire Lopez getting a dominant win in the first round. Getting ready to do some jiu-jitsu inside La Jaula, breaking down Melissa Amaya's submission against Alitzel Mariscal with the one and only Jacob Diaz, our undefeated fighter, who is willing to get strangled. All right, so here, what I wanna do is, once I have someone in my guard, I have a lot of offense from here. But when you're in MMA, you don't wanna let them posture up and ground and pound away. So I'm gonna break down his posture and make sure that I get an overhook. Once I have this overhook, there's a couple of different things that I could do, but the thing that Melissa starts eyeballing is isolating this wrist and looking to set up a triangle choke. So you'll see her go in and out, just controlling, trying to find her moment to pounce, because all of this is timing. Once she finds the perfect moment, she gets this leg over, because now I can isolate one arm and the neck, because that's where the choke is gonna come, because this is a blood choke, and we're looking to cut off the blood flowing to his brain from both carotid arteries. So once this is up, I'm gonna break down his posture, chop with this leg, a lot of heavy pressure. My hamstrings are strong. He's not going anywhere when I'm in this position. My other foot is on his hip, creating an angle as well, while simultaneously paying attention to this arm. I don't want it on the outside like this, because now there's so much space here between his other carotid arteries. So I wanna get this arm across and make sure I lock up my triangle here. So now the choke is pretty there, but it's not at the best angle. I wanna be angled off a little bit so that all I have to do is kind of give a squeeze and then he'll tap. But as we saw in Melissa Amaya's fight, she actually ends up going for the arm bar within this position, and it's right there. It's hard to resist once it's there. So all I have to do is elevate my hips, which is the most powerful part of my body when it comes to Muay Thai kicks, judo throws. That's where I generate all the power. And here, just go wrist to wrist and break that arm. It wasn't very fun in there, was it? See? So it's a very dangerous position, and Melissa Amaya executed to a T. Welcome back to the best of Combate Global, where we've been doing a deep dive on Copa Combate, the toughest tournament in sports. And we had the inaugural Copa Combate in 2017 in Cancun. The energy was high and people were hungry for that 100K, particularly Levi Marroquin, representing Mexico, a beautiful submission grappling artist who got a nice guillotine in his second match, the semifinals, to advance him into the final.
Rojo follows up and he has the double leg against the cage. He's going for the lift
and he got him
down. Marroquin going for a guillotine, trying to transition here. The scramble continues.
There's no threat here. He's good to go. There, he will be fine. He's got that shoulder pressure. He's going to dig it a little more, I think, because his submission game's a lot better than that. Ooh, there's some space in that shoulder.
Oh, he tapped! He tapped! It is over! Oh, man! Levy Marroquin, from alternate to finalist, and de Monterrey, Mexico, is now one fight away from $100,000.
De Monterrey, México,
So we're gonna break that down. Don't you worry. But first, we gotta meet the training partner, Christian, who is so kind. He is gonna let me choke him and do all that. So are you ready for that?
Let's go on it.
Yes, let's do it. And part of the reason why this guillotine choke became available to Levy was because he was doing a great job of piecing up his opponent. Marcelo was getting tired on the feet, didn't like getting punched in the face. So when he went in for the double leg takedown, it was a bit of a desperation takedown. He wanted to slow the pace of the fight down, especially because in the semifinals, it's just one round for 5 minutes. So the cardio that you get, it's a sprint. It's not a marathon like a normal 3-round fight. So these guys are throwing punches. A few land beautifully. Like if I was in there, I would have a beautiful hook, and that makes him get a little scared, all right? So he's gonna duck under and go for a double leg takedown. I'm gonna be smart in this moment. Levy knew that once he shot for that takedown, he has to capitalize on the little things, like getting this front headlock position. He doesn't just, do nothing and let him take him down. He gets that position because even when he does go for the takedown, down to the ground he goes. It's in these moments that are so important. It's the scramble. Yeah, you got taken down. Don't panic. Don't just settle and, let him ground and pound you out. You got to keep control of what you have, which is this front headlock position. Get a little bit of space. And in Levy's situation, he went to the closed guard position because he has confidence off of his back, especially with this grip on the neck that he has. If he didn't have a grip on his head, we could see some problems. We could see some ground and pound potential, and that wouldn't be a great way to be sent off into the final of Copa Combate. You want to try to avoid any and all damage. So he's holding on tight to this front headlock position, and there's a few different ways that you can finish a guillotine, but one of the ways to do it is the high elbow. And the way that that's set up is with a different grip. Basically placed like this, you have your radius bone on their one-sided of the carotid artery. And now with this grip, it makes it super tight on the other one. And to finish it, you usually want your arm on their center line. That makes it really tight, closing in the gaps. But as you'll see, Welcome back to the best of Combate Global, where we're going to be breaking down submissions right here inside La Jaula. First up is Christian Barraza, the Chileno who competed in the 2021 Copa Combate. The submission that we're going to be taking a look at, though, is against Diego Silva, where he gets a beautiful armbar, and we have another Christian here that's going to be breaking down that submission. So let's take a quick look at that submission.
So much at stake for Christian Barraza. His girlfriend, Gloria Bravo, she has fought a couple times recently. We have seen him cornering her, so he's been very busy in this facility. We are underway, but this is all about him. He gets the victory. He will get into the Copa Combate, the tournament. Already we know a couple fighters that are going to be there. Patrick Lehane at the top of that list. We don't know exactly what weight division. It probably won't be 125, but right now Barraza in red at 125 pounds. His opponent, Diego Silva, wearing pink shorts, again, to recognize Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah, Diego knew that Christian Barraza has a very strong jiu-jitsu game, so he doesn't want to be in this position. On the contrary here, for Diego, he made his debut this year. This guy has fought already 5 times, and the first time being was in a tournament where he ended up winning at that tournament back in May.
This begins our main card on Paramount Plus, and already a guillotine attempt. It slipped out for Diego Silva. 4-0 in the amateur ranks. He's had a up and down start to his professional career, but now above water at 3-2, and we've seen the highlight reels of him, Rodolfo. Beyond impressive.
Very talented fighter, very athletic, but he needs to be careful. Again, he knew what Barraza was going to bring to the table. He knew that he was a jiu-jitsu expert. He needs to somehow, some way transition out of this and bring it back to the feet if he wants a victory here in Combate Global.
And just talking to Rodolfo, as we mentioned it in the pre-fight show, he saw a victory in those amateur ranks from Silva, and it reminded him of Anthony Pettis, just to think of that kind of athleticism. But right now, no athleticism being shown. He is in a bind as Barraza has him locked in.
He needs to be very careful here. Barraza wearing him down. He knows exactly what he needs to do, trying to rip it up and get that arm bar. And he has it,
Matt's got the arm bar.
He
He's
has
in
it.
hard. He hasn't tapped yet, but Silva certainly has to.
He's
Now
hanging
he
out for
starts. He starts to churn. Silva, now that was a tap.
No,
yeah,
there
there's
it
a
is.
tap. Christian Barraza, his most impressive fight in the Jaula by far. At 125 pounds, he is a full
Welcome back to the best of Combate Global, where we've been having a lot of fun breaking down submissions inside La Jaula. But not always do submissions work. Sometimes the grip isn't right, sometimes your angle or position just isn't what you need to get the submission done. So I'm gonna bring in my friend over here, Christian, to help me break down a time where Guillotine Choke was more of just a standstill in positioning between Geralbert Castillo and Yuji Epigova. Let's take a look at some of the action.
For Gilbert Castillo. Nice double leg.
Usually
And
not
finish.
Now he got
there it
the
is.
down. Yeah, real nicely put.
Yeah, right into side control. Castillo still hanging on to the head. A little bit of a rookie move there. No guard, no guillotine, but still holding on to the head. That cost you a lot of energy.
Yep. When you talk about history of Japan and Cuba and martial arts, you know, some Japanese went to Cuba, taught some karate. Heck, my coach, Cuban, taught karate from a Japanese, one of those hardcore, determined, if they came all the way over here to train to Cuba. And in judo, we got some exceptional judokos.
Great judo in Cuba, great judo in Japan, great wrestling in Cuba, great wrestling in Japan, great boxers out of both countries. But right now, by not letting go of the head, he's in Von Flutra. Loves it from this half guard position. He can do it, but it takes those long legs, takes that long build, and FO definitely has that.
Unlike Yuji's fighting style, and it is switching, right? He kind of has that taekwondo-ish type of stance, and he'll flip it.
Now back to full guard. Here's where the guillotine can work. Going hard for it is Castillo. Trying to take it home with him.
There it is. Okay, that's a better shot there, Jimmy.
Hey, you see the calm on the face.
The chin is...
Definitely
all right.
thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Giving our camera the thumbs up and the referee.
And that right there is going to exhaust that right arm.
Rodolfo, you said it perfectly. The problem with the guillotine, you don't get it, you are out of gas.
Welcome back to the best of Combate Global, where we've been breaking down a bunch of crazy submissions, and we have an even better one on the way, an armbar between Ismael Ken Zamora and Rick Zelada. So to help me break it down, we're gonna bring in my trusty training partner, Christian. But before we do that, we're gonna take a look at how the action broke down live.
Fighting out of Los Angeles, California, Slick Rick Zelada. De la Ciudad de México, DF, Ismael Ken Ken Zamora.
Really fighting to protect his unbeaten record. Zamora came to fight another big elbow and then followed up by the forearm.
He started it. Oh, we're gonna get the score just here in 3 seconds. Should be. And there it is, Max. Ismael.
Yep, as we expected.
Working, Rick.
As expected. And I'm curious to see if maybe one of these corners would I mean, it's very early in the fight. It's only the first round.
Oh, he tapped out. We don't have to see it. Celada taps out, and Ismael Zamora with a massive performance. Eye-opening, dominant. He won the first round, and he finishes it via submission in round number 2.
Impressive. He was searching for it earlier on in the second round. Now he was able to capitalize on it and won this bout. And mind you, he took on a guy whose strong base is jiu-jitsu.
Now, when so much, Max. Up next, we have a classic battle between Mexico and Chile. Ana Palacios getting the Americana lock against Gloria Bravo. And to show me is another atomweight in this division, the #1 grappler for the 2023 season. It is Kayla Rocco, aka K-Rock, and we're gonna break down how Ana Palacios executed this beautiful Americana. But first, it started with the takedown. So they were getting close to the cage. They were letting it fly on the feet, but Ana Palacios is super quick. She was reading the strikes that Gloria Bravo was throwing, and as soon as she threw that overhand right, she ducks under, quickly gets to the back, and this is one of those scramble moments where the motion of this entire thing is like bringing them both to the ground. So even though it wasn't a completely clean takedown, Ana Palacios ends up on top. A quick moment of them being in quarter guard. So the difference is if I was in her full guard, that would be completely closed, and now I have to break her guard to get out. Luckily in MMA, you can do some ground and pound, so it's a little bit of an advantageous position, but if this was jiu-jitsu solely, this closed guard would be a problem for me, because there's a bunch of different things that Kayla can do from here. Yep, like lock up different submissions. But luckily for Ana Palacio, she ends up in the quarter guard. So now all she has to do to pass into a very dominant position, aka side control, is pass this leg. So she's using the pressure to get past. She ends up getting past into full side control. And here, Gloria Bravo, these Chileans, they are feisty. She is letting, even when she's in this not